Magic users and metahumans make up the vast majority of the heroes and villains of the DC universe. More recently, these folks have teamed up together for Justice League Dark, now confirmed for HBO Max, and no other character represents Justice League Dark and really the magical side of DC more than one lady, Zatanna Zatara. Let's talk about her. Before we do, let me say thank you for watching the channel, whether it's your first time here or you're back for more. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the content we upload just like this each and every week. Alright, with that out of the way, let's jump into the story. Created by Gardner Fox and Murphy Anderson for 1964's Hawkman number 4, Zatanna quickly proved to be a fan favorite. Zatanna and her lineage are part of an ancient subspecies of humans in the DC universe called Homo Magi, who are magic users and wielders of ancient mystical power. Homo Magi lived alongside Homo sapiens, although they did so from the shadows. Some mixed and mated, as did Zatanna's parents. Zatanna's father is Giovanni or John Zatara, who first appeared in Action Comics number 1 in 1938. The same issue it saw the debut of the cornerstone of DC Comics, yes, Superman. Giovanni is a Homo sapien with a career as a stage magician. Her mother is Cindella, a pure Homo Magi. Because of this, Zatanna grew up as a stage magician, but also with real innate magical powers. From an early age, Zatanna thought her mother had passed away. She would find out in her first mission with the Justice League that Cindella had actually gone back to a place called the Hidden City, which was a refuge for an ancient Homo Magi tribe called the Hidden Ones, which was hidden in the mountains of Turkey. But Cindella was trapped. The Hidden Ones were sucking power from her like succubi. Cindella died trying to keep Zatanna from befalling the same fate she did. So from an early age, it was just Zatanna and her father, and they toured together for his magic act. In 2007's Detective Comics 833 by Paul Dini, we learned that Zatara and Thomas Wayne were friends, and thus Zatanna and a young Bruce Wayne were childhood friends, and this was explored more in recent issues. On the magical tour, Zatara would teach his daughter how to use her innate powers. Z's magic is cast by logomancy, which is spellcasting with words. She speaks each word backwards, but keeps the sentences themselves flowing forwards, although this has been written differently depending on who's writing the story. But because of this power, her voice and her throat are often targets of her foes. The Joker shot her in the throat once, for example. She can levitate, alter reality, control the weather, she has precognition, intuition, healing abilities, and can even shoot blasts of mystical energy, and plenty more. The limits of her power have not been fully explored yet. She also has a magical manor called Shadowcrest that isn't always right quite in the same place. It holds countless ancient artifacts and relics within its walls. Because her power is magic, hers is one of Superman's very few weaknesses. She once went on a mission with him to learn why magic was a weakness for him. When Zatanna was 18 years old, this evil sorceress named Allura came and took her father away. Allura cursed Zatara that contact with his family would mean instant death for them, so he went on a quest to this realm called Karma to try to break the curse. Zatanna too went on a mission to find her father, seeking aid from the likes of Hawkman, Hawkgirl, and someone she'd go on to have a lot of history with, John Constantine. Allura's good sister came to her aid, lifting the curse, which allowed the family to reunite. As she continued with her magic career, she started helping people on the side and even helped the Justice League out a couple of times. Her support was appreciated and she'd be voted in as a full-fledged member. This was the result of a real-world fan vote, and writer of the series, Jerry Conway, with the Justice League as a proxy, elected to induct Zatanna into the Justice League in issue 160. Barry Allen, the Flash of the Justice League, wanted to have a romance with her, and it was also around this time that she became one of the first characters to jump from mainline DC to an imprint line called Vertigo Comics, which was home to Constantine, Sandman, Swamp Thing. In her work with the Justice League, they discovered that Amaza was tampering with the quote-unquote lifespan of the powers and draining them. Zatanna's power was weakened so much she could only use elemental magic. In 1981, in Justice League of America 191, Zatanna lost her powers, and when that happened, the energy didn't disappear. It had to go somewhere, so it metamorphosed and created a dark Zatanna in a mirror dimension. The story continued to 1982's World's Finest Comics, issues 277 and 278. Zatanna was doing a magic show with her stage manager Jeff Sloan when this dark Zatanna from the mirror dimension attacked, pulling them both in. The evil Zatanna wanted to destroy the good Zatanna to take her place. The good Zatanna, as we said, was weakened now with only her elemental powers, but she was able to draw from the other side her stage skill and the power of misdirection to win. In the 1985 Alan Moore story American Gothic from Swamp Thing 49 and 50, John Constantine brought her to Winter's Gate Manor to perform a seance, and the seance was to defeat an evil called the Great Evil Beast. Well, it started to go wrong, and her father sacrificed himself, being burned alive to save Zatanna, and so she blamed Constantine from that point on for her father's death. 1993 saw Zatanna get her first solo series. She had to fight this ancient chaotic being known as Chaos. And that same year brought controversy to the real world, to our world, as Zatanna was depicted in the Hellblazer series smoking a joint. The next year she was part of a series called Books of Magic, training a new magic user named Tim Hunter. She also helped found the Sentinels of Magic at the end of that decade. Zatanna brought Selina Kyle back to life in 2003's Hush and the follow-up Heart of Hush, when the villain Hush ripped Selina's heart right out of her chest. In 2004, Zatanna had another controversial moment. In Identity Crisis, she had to mind wipe Dr. Light and later do the same to Batman, who didn't approve of what she did. She lost her confidence, which caused her powers to decrease, and she went out with a new apprentice called Misty Kilgore and 7 soldiers to try to get her powers back up. She had to fight a Black Lantern Zatara, an undead version of her father in Blackest Night, and she won, but it broke her emotionally, and she ended up becoming a reserve member of the Justice League, now wanting to have what she considered a normal life. In her solo series in 2010, she was living in San Francisco and had to fight Brother Knight, a sinister crime boss trying to take over the magical underworld of the cities she called home. Her solo series ended in 2011 with the 16th issue, but she would go on to appear in Justice League Dark, a series that was launched as part of the New 52 marketing campaign. She was a founding member of the new team, and in the first issue, the Enchantress had gone berserk and taken out the Justice League, so it was Madame Xanadu who formed the Justice League sub-team to deal with magical and supernatural threats. Madame Xanadu brought in Zatanna and John Constantine, who started casting spells together, and Constantine bonded June Moon back with Enchantress again, which stopped the threat. And after suffering some nightmares, the team formed up officially. She showed up in Detective Comics 958, having rebuilt her friendship with Batman after the Dr. Light incident, and helped him defeat the robotic Azrael replacement Ascalon, who attacked the Iceberg Lounge, where she'd been scheduled to do a performance. And in that next issue, they talked about their brief romance from when they were teenagers, when Batman was still trying to learn some low-level magic, and then Batman asked her for help. He wanted to learn how to bring Tim Drake back from the dead. In 2018, a 3-issue miniseries found Zatanna at Mystic U, which is a mystical school under Rose Psychic, and she was there with a bunch of other magic users, Enchantress, Faust, Sargon. After Justice League No Justice, magic in the DC universe became unstable. Wonder Woman wanted to form a new Justice League Dark, and Zatanna was reluctant to join at first, but went to a meeting at Winter's Gate Manor, along with Jason Blood, aka Etrigan the Demon, Morgaine Le Fay, Clarion the Witch Boy were all there, along with Swamp Thing, who was remotely listening from his tree in Salem, Massachusetts. And when she went to see Swamp Thing, her father appeared, warning them of the coming threat of someone called Upside Down Man. A Lord of Order named Nabu in Dr. Fate's helmet made a deal with the Upside Down Man. Nabu believed that magic was chaos, and he wanted to rid the world of it to restore order. Upside Down Man believed the magic was stolen from him and his horrific brood called the Other Kind. So Nabu let them into the world to eat the magic, for them to reconsume it and reclaim what they thought was taken from them by Hecate, the goddess of magic. Mordru, the Lord of Chaos, gave Zatanna and Wonder Woman the Ruby of Life, and with it, they leveled up with the immense power of chaos magic. Their chaos was the counter to Nabu and his order. Even Zed's logomancy was no longer in the proper order. It was complete chaos. They were pure chaos. Zatanna and Jason Blood called forth the Demons 3, who ripped the helmet of Nabu right off of Dr. Fate's head. Later in the series, Hecate had given Circe some of her power, so Circe went to the basement of the Hall of Justice where magical artifacts were kept, including the Black Diamond with Eclipso in it. She cast a spell which took away Zatanna's mouth, but Zed, badass that she is, took a knife and actually cut her own face open to reopen her mouth. Bloody and full of rage, she cast a spell to send the Black Diamond back to safekeeping in the vault, thereby imprisoning Eclipso once again, and we leave Zatanna on a journey with John Constantine at the heart of the Parliament of Rot, seeking Abigail Arcane, but she ended up finding Anton Arcane. And so the story of Zatanna Zatara continues in the pages of DC Comics into the future. On the animated side, Zatanna first appeared in the 50th episode of Batman the Animated Series all the way back in 1993. In the episode, there's a young Batman working as an apprentice for Zatanna's father, and that's when she and Batman meet. And he was using a pseudonym, John Smith, at that time. She was also on Justice League Unlimited for a few episodes where she helped defend Earth alongside the Justice League after the Thanagarians invaded the Earth. And later, Zatanna was in the Young Justice series where her father became Dr. Fate. She was voiced by Lacey Chabert, who also voiced Meg Griffin before Mila Kunis took it over. In one episode, Zatanna put on the Dr. Fate helmet to fight Clarion the Witch Boy. It was an episode called Misplaced. And her father ended up sacrificing himself so that she didn't have to be trapped by Nabu. In 2018, when the DCEU, the live-action cinematic world of DC, was in great flux after Batman v Superman and Justice League, there was talk of a live-action Zatanna film, as well as a live-action Justice League Dark, which had both Guillermo del Toro and Doug Liman attached at different points. Serinda Swan, who was also Medusa on the Marvel TV series Inhumans, played Zatanna on Smallville. On the show, she was a DEO agent and part of Justice League. Her father, John, died, and she was looking for a book of spells which happened to be in the possession of none other than Lex Luthor. The live-action standalone Zatanna movie was ultimately shelved, but we did get a Justice League Dark animated film in 2017, as well as the 2020 sequel, Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. She will also be featured on the Justice League Dark series on HBO Max, and I'm sure we'll be talking about Zatanna even more once that debuts. And that's a wrap on this one, my friends, the story of Zatanna. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can be one of the first to know when I upload videos just like this each and every week. I'm Jesse, this is JLS Comics, and I'll see you soon.